Hello everyone. So before the video starts, I kind of wanted to mention first because I feel like I don't clearly say it in the video. Yeah, so my school is pretty competitive. There's a lot of very smart kids at my school. So my stats are pretty average compared to them. And I know that my stats are, depending on who's watching, to a lot of people it may not be that bad of stats. But yeah, I just wanted to share the stats just so that anybody can see it as a reference, and I do say that in the video, but kind of use it as a reference and see what got me into college. And stats aren't everything. I just kind of went through high school. I didn't try as hard as I could have, but I just kind of wanted to mention that because I don't think I clearly say it in the video. Yeah, I don't know what I'm saying, but hopefully you guys enjoy the video. And let's just get right into it. Okay, bye. I filmed this so many times, like the whole video. It is so hard to film a video just sitting in front of the camera. It's like my first time doing it, so please bear with me. I am pretty awkward, but I am going to be doing a stats video today because on my last video a lot of people wanted to see a stats video, and I also was planning on making one. So before I get into the actual stats, I wanted to introduce myself. My name's Kaylee and I'm currently a high school senior, and I just got a bunch of decisions from colleges and I applied to 17 schools, and if you want to see like all the reactions to that, you can see that right here. So with that, I also wanted to say that the college process is so unpredictable and you really don't know who's gonna get in and who's not. Just because my stats are the way it is, it's all different. People can have lower stats than me and get into schools I didn't get into, and vice versa. It's just, you really don't know with the college process, and it's pretty annoying, but that's just how it works. You really don't know. You might have worked your butt off, but they may not accept you, but that's okay. Please don't be discouraged by that because it doesn't mean that you're not good enough for the college. In fact, you're probably better off not going to that college because you can probably find someplace else that's better for you. So getting into the stats, I first wanted to share my college application process and just the whole background of applying to colleges. So I applied as a film major to almost all my schools. Only like a few of them I applied as like communications or something like that, but basically all of my schools I applied as film majors because that is currently what I want to do in the future, somewhere in the field of film. The reason why I also applied to so many schools, I applied to 17 schools, I just really didn't know where I wanted to go, and I tried to look for schools that had film as a major, and whether it was really good at it or some of them had mediocre or maybe not even like a proper film program. I just applied to so many because I also wasn't sure if film was what I want to do. So if I go to a school, I want to be able to switch out to a different major, and for them to have good majors for me to switch out into. That is why I also applied to a lot of public schools, and I also was able to apply to so many schools because I didn't have to pay for any of my privates. I applied to I think 8 or 9 privates, and the rest were all UCs and Cal States. And for my UCs, I just had to pay for 2 of them because I got 4 for free, and I applied to 6 of them. And for Cal States, I had to pay for both of them. I only paid for 4 schools. Now let's get into my GPA. So my unweighted GPA at the time of applying, which was my second semester of junior year, was a 3.8378. That's how my school gave it to me, and my weighted GPA is a 4.2162. So for my classes, my freshman year I took 1 honor and I took no APs, but for my honor, I took Algebra 2 honors and I got an A for both semesters. During my sophomore year, I took 2 honors and 1 AP. I took Math Analysis honors and English 10 honors. For Math Analysis honors, I got an A the first semester and a B the second semester. And for English 10 honors, I got an A both semesters. And for my junior year, I took 2 APs and 1 honor. My honor is Physiology honors and I got an A both semesters. And I took 2 APs. At first I took 3, but I dropped AP US History because I just can't do history. That's just really not my thing. And so I dropped that. I was left with 2 APs, so I took AP Calculus AB and AP Lang. And I got an A both semesters for both classes. And currently my senior year, I'm taking 2 APs. I'm taking AP Calc BC and AP Macroeconomics. So that's a total of 5 APs for all of my high school. Now on to test scores. So for my AP scores, I only have 3 of them because 2 of them I didn't take yet, but I got a 3 for AP European History, and I got a 4 for AP Lang, and a 4 for AP Calc AB. So I passed all of my APs. I didn't get a 5 on any of my exams. I have yet to see if I ever will, but I passed all of them. For my PSAT, my school makes you take the PSAT starting sophomore year, and I think it's required unless you don't show up. So I took it both my sophomore year and junior year. And so my sophomore year, it was my first time ever taking a PSAT or SAT or any kind of test. And I got an 1180 and a 560 in reading and writing and 620 in math. During my junior year, I took the PSAT again and I got a 1200, and that was a 590 in reading and writing and 610 in math. And for SAT subject tests, I only took one of them, and that is Korean with listening, and for that test I got a 760. And lastly, for the SAT, I took the SAT with essay, and I took the SAT 3 times. So the first time I took it in March, I got a 1220, and that's 570 in reading and writing and 650 in math. And my essay score was 17 out of 24. In June, I got a 1360, and that's a 610 in reading and writing and 750 in math. And for my essay, I got 18 out of 24. And then in my October SAT, my score dropped, but I got a 1300, and that is a 660 in reading and writing and 640 in math. And my essay, I got a 17 out of 24. And I think the reason why my score dropped was because I got so high in math. I didn't study my math basically at all, and I just focused on English. And also, it was very last minute. I was just gonna stick with my 1360, which was my highest score, which still is my highest score, but last minute I took another one, and though my overall score was lower, it actually helped me because I went from a 610 in reading and writing to a 660 in reading and writing, so I was able to have a higher score if you super score them, so I got a 1410 for super score. And I think that is also why it kind of helped my private schools as well, because most of them super score the scores, but UCs don't. Now for extracurriculars. So for extracurriculars, I did a lot of stuff at my church. Most of my community service and my other things are from church. So I was a youth group leader at my church and a worship team leader. I was also a videographer, and all of those I did it since freshman year, or for the youth group leader I started I think like sophomore or junior year, but the rest of them I did it since even middle school, but I just counted it from freshman year. I'm also currently a school news director, so we have a broadcasting show at our school and I am one of the directors for that. I joined the crew last year, and this year I'm a director. I was also a TA for my local Korean school for like 2 years, and I also went on a lot of missions. I went on a mission summer before sophomore year, summer before junior year, and summer before senior year. And I went to Mexico the summer before sophomore year and summer before senior year, and I went to New Mexico the summer before junior year. And I was a videographer for all of them, but I also served as well. And for different activities that I did, I attended a film program at Columbia College Hollywood during the summer before my junior year, and I attended like a digital film production class. And then the summer before my senior year, I attended an entrepreneurship academy held at like a high school near me, and it was by CSUN, and it was basically like just learning to be an entrepreneur and whatnot. And then I also attended a OK Friends teen camp. It's like where you learn about your culture. So I went to Korea and I learned about the different cultures. I went to a Korean high school, I did homestay and all those kind of things. So that is what I did. So those are all of my extracurriculars. It may be a lot for some people, but I think compared to a lot of others, it's not that much. But this is what I did, and this is how I was able to get into some of my schools. And that is all for my stats. If I didn't cover anything, let me know and I'll try to cover them later on in some other video or in the comments or wherever. And also my stats, if you compare it to a lot of people, it's not the best, but it's also not the worst. I'm pretty happy with my stats. It may be higher than some of you or lower than some of you, but at the end of the day, honestly, stats aren't the most important thing. It is also your extracurriculars, your essays, everything that contribute to getting into this school. It's just you as a person, so you really don't know who's gonna get into certain schools. So just look at my stats as a reference if you want, and hopefully it can help you guys in some way. And now for the questions I got. So I'm going to answer a few of the questions I got in my last video. The first question is, for applying to film majors programs, did you have to submit a portfolio? If you did, what did you use? So honestly, I applied to 17 schools, so I had to write so many essays. Originally, I planned on like applying to like even USC, like a math major or something like that, and I had to do so much for like a portfolio and like a bunch of stuff. But last minute, I was just like, maybe I won't do it because it was a little too much for me. And one thing is, if I applied to less schools, I probably might have worked on more portfolios, but because I applied to 17 schools, I didn't want to stress about making a portfolio, making more videos. I did actually have to make like 1 or 2 videos for some schools, but I didn't really have to submit a portfolio. Certain schools expect different things, so you never really know. But if you want to apply as like a traditional film major, I know most schools do require a portfolio, so you probably will have to have a lot of videos that you want to submit, and you should spend a lot of time working on them. I just wasn't sure if I even wanted to do film, so I didn't really have that many like great videos that I could submit, so I just chose not to go for those specific film majors. But if that's what you're planning on doing, I suggest trying to start making your portfolio as soon as you can. Did you always know what you wanted to study? I wanted to do film starting sophomore year. That's when I kind of considered it as like a job. I always made little videos here and there with my sister for church or whatnot. But sophomore year was when I was like, oh, I think I want to kind of do this as a career. And then it kind of died down junior year. But then right when I started applying, that's when I kind of started looking into film again. And then that's why I applied as film. That's also why I didn't do like the traditional film majors for some of my schools. So I always kind of knew, but I kind of went back and forth on whether I wanted to or not. But now here I am. I applied as a film major. I don't know if that's what I'll continue doing. I may switch out, but for now, that is what I plan on doing. If you don't mind, could you also share what you wrote about on your essay and the extracurriculars that you did? For the extracurriculars, I talked about them, but for my essays, most of my essays were film related. My personal statement was about kind of like how vlogging was a way for me to change my view on things and how that was my way of being able to communicate with others, like my source of communication in a way. And certain schools had specific essay prompts, so I had to kind of like fit to that. Some of them are very specific, but most of my essays were written about film. So the last question is, what does the EARD mean? And when you were applying, did you have to send multiple applications to that school? EA is early action and RD is regular decision. And multiple applications, I don't really know exactly if this will answer your questions, but especially because I applied as film, for a lot of the privates I had to do separate supplemental applications, and supplemental applications are basically like applications that aren't like the general application, but for certain majors you might have to either submit a portfolio or write extra essays related to your major, or even some schools just require their own essays, because for the Common App you have the whole personal statement, but some schools have their own specific essays that they want you to write. I don't know if that answers your question. If you guys want me to go more in depth about the college application, all the questions you guys have about the college application process, I can totally do that. If you guys have any questions, just let me know. Yeah, that's all for my questions. So hopefully this helped you guys in some way, and hopefully you guys enjoyed. I've never been so vulnerable in front of a camera, in front of an audience before. I feel like that can be a very personal thing. I mean, I don't mind sharing them. Hopefully you guys enjoyed listening to all my stats and all my answers to some of your questions. And if you guys have any more questions or have anything else you guys want to say, just let me know down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and hope you guys stay tuned, and I will see you later. Thank you. Bye.